Hey everyone, I'm therapist and relationship coach Micah Ross with the 5th episode of Relatables, and today we're going to be talking about grief. Whether you're grieving or you have a friend that's grieving, this episode will be helpful for you. Or you've ever grieved, or you've ever had a friend that's grieving, stick around. So in my work as a therapist with couples and individuals, things that come up in life, one of the big things is loss. And whether it's loss of a loved one through death, through a breakup and experiencing heartbreak, whether it's terminal illness in my client or a loved one, grief can be triggered by many forms of loss. And so in the clients that I've been working with lately who are grieving, what it feels like to me and what's kind of ticking me off is that it feels like it's me up against the whole world. Because what it feels like my clients are being met with on the outside is a whole lot of judgment. And whether that judgment is in disguise as unsolicited advice, in disguise as being helpful with that unsolicited advice, or it's just plain old judgment, having, with the timeline that you've been grieving. Say you've been grieving a relationship for 2 years. I've grieved a breakup for 2 years, and I remember having people go, "Oh, you're still talking about him?" And what happens when we feel judged is that we shut down. And what happens when we get that unsolicited advice? Are you seeing a therapist? Are you seeing the right kind of therapist? What about, have you tried online dating? Which kinds of online dating have you tried in terms of heartbreak? Is that we receive that unsolicited advice and that which is judgment, or we just receive some judgment in general that we're not doing it right, that we're not doing enough, that we're not doing it right, we're not doing enough. Those are the underlying messages. Is that grieving people shut down. And what grieving people need to move through their grief is support, connection, and validation. And when we judge their timeline, their way of grieving, what they're doing, how they're doing it, we shut them off from the things that they need. And so in my work recently, I felt like I have had people say, "You're the only person I can talk to about this." That sucks. Like, we have to do better. We have to do better as friends, as a society, as a culture. We have to do better at sitting with people in their pain. We have to be willing to tolerate some discomfort. But I think that a piece of what comes with that is we have to stop feeling so responsible for how other people feel. Because when we feel that responsibility, we want to fix it. We want to offer a solution. We think we're being helpful, but it conveys judgment that they're not doing it right or they're not doing enough. Pinches them off from the resources that they need to move through this grief in a more quick, I don't know if it's, judgment is not a grief speeder upper. When we're offering our grieving friends judgment, they have more ammunition to judge themselves. We give them more fuel to self-judge and resist the grief. When what grieving needs is to be felt. And it's like the difference between swimming upstream and just letting go and going down, feeling the pain. We're either going to resist it and we're not going to make it to the end because we're going to be so busy taking a ton of effort, swimming the wrong way, or we can just let go and feel all the things that we want to feel. But it's so much more helpful when we have a support system that allows us to just let go. So I encourage you to have the courage, because I do think it takes some courage to sit with people in their pain and to deeply listen and paraphrase what they're saying. What paraphrasing does is one deep listening skill. Gosh, if you cared about this relationship so much and I would be really, and you're feeling it for this long, I would be really, if I were you, I might be terrified that I would never find somebody like that again. And they get to say, "I do feel that way." And what that non-verbally is, "Oh, I'm not crazy." And And when you help normalize someone else's feelings and grief, it helps them judge themselves less. It helps them be a little bit easier on themselves, and it helps them move through grief more smoothly. So if you would like to hang out with me more, you can go to my Facebook page at Micah Ross, Therapist and Relationship Coach. You can head to my website for a free training for busy couples at micahross.com/registration. And I also have a mom's night coming up which is fun, support, and connection all rolled up into one on March 24th. You can check out my Facebook page for details on that, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.